Welcome back, Anxious Gamers, to another video game-filled episode. We're your hosts. I'm Kris.
And I'm Josh.
We're going to kick things off like usual with some gaming news. We're also going to add in a new segment each week since we're Anxious Gamers. Mental health segment. We're going to talk about the games we played this week. And our main topic, Josh, take it away.
We are starting a new series called Composer Comparison. And for the first episode in this series, we're going to be comparing how composers handle shop music across video games.
Dun, 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 dun.
That is one of them. That's one of the songs.
I had to. Anyways, let's talk about some gaming news. So, first off, VGC confirms Switch 2 dev kits.
Finally.
And targets a 2024 release. And now, today, new news. It looks like we're going to be getting a Switch 2 in 2024. Probably the second half of the year, which makes sense. I think that's the perfect time to release the system.
Yeah.
There are rumors that developers have said they don't know if it's backwards compatible yet, and they don't know if it's going to launch with an OLED screen or not, which I'm okay with. It doesn't really... I mean, I would love to have the OLED screen. I love it so much. But if Nintendo has to cut... Like, if they have decent enough hardware and good third-party development or companies supporting the Switch,
right,
and can cut costs to produce a bunch of systems, I'm fine with it, because I don't think the Switch 2 will be like a PS5 dilemma or Series X dilemma.
You mean with the shortages?
Yeah, I don't think it will be.
So the news that I read was that's the reason for the 2024 launch instead of a 23 launch. They're giving themselves enough runway to be able to produce enough units that there won't be shortages for basically a holiday season of 24.
And that's what I'm getting at with if they're doing the LCD screen or whatever, because they're going to make it a cheaper console so they can make more.
Yeah, keeping it a little bit more, I guess, easy to produce and low cost.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, if the Switch 2 rocks and it does great, I'll buy an OLED version of it couple years later on down the line if they...
Although I have to say, now that I know that I at least have my Switch for another year, now I'm kind of wondering if I should go ahead and go get the OLED.
I have been tempted. Literally, I see the Tears of the Kingdom
that's the one I'm talking about, yeah. And I still have my OG Switch, and I have to share it with my kids. That's an excuse right there. I need it for the channel.
Yeah, you need it for the channel. Yeah. And my cousin...
Can I write that off as a business expense?
You could.
Probably.
Yeah.
I might do that.
We'll talk about that later. My cousin has the Tears of the Kingdom Switch. So
nice.
It was beautiful. But that was pretty much... Oh, wait. And Xbox partners with Final Fantasy. Again, and Square Enix. So we'll see how long that lasts. Josh, you have any gaming news, or is that it?
I do. Well, it's not, I guess, news per se. By the time that this video comes out, if you've watched some of the older episodes, you know that I've been part of the alpha testing for Palia, a cozy MMO. As of the time of this video being published, tomorrow my time, a couple days ago this time, the NDA will have lifted, and we can start showing some content of the closed beta of Palia. I'm very excited to show you what's in there.
It's going to be awesome. I watched the trailer again from the Direct. I feel like I would enjoy that game.
It's very cozy.
Yeah.
It's very Animal Crossing-esque. And at least I still can't really say anything because the NDA technically is not lifted, but I'll tell you soon.
Yeah, sounds good. So let's talk real quick about mental health this week. So for those of you that don't know or may know, I suffer from panic disorder. Josh is kind of the same. We both have very
not quite
very
as severe, but
not quite as severe, but we both have very, very high anxiety, and that's part of why we started this channel. So I wanted to talk about this week in particular. I've had several panic attacks, which thankfully I'm medicated and I can control them a lot better. But some days I just wake up and don't want to get out of bed, don't want to do anything, feel lightheaded, just really, really rough. But I've decided, I'm like, I'm going to get up, I'm going to play a video game, because usually when my anxiety is very high, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to play my guitar. I don't want to teach or anything. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to get up, I'm going to make a cup of coffee, and I'm going to play Pikmin 4.
Nice.
And that's one of the games I'm playing this week. One of my students begged me to get this game, and I finally did it. He is a Pikmin nut. So I've tried Pikmin before, never could get into it. But
I was about
will
to ask
say,
that question. If you've played
I've always appreciated it because it's a different game. It's its own thing. But it was just too complicated for me. I wanted to blow stuff up and shoot stuff and, run around with... Anyways, I'm not even... Yeah, we're going to cut that. But, so I played the demo and I enjoyed it. And this was before the panic attacks, and then the panic attacks kicked in this week, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy this game. And for those of you that are suffering from panic attacks and need something to just zone out and not necessarily play for comfort, but to have something to distract you, get Pikmin 4. It is a great game. It's a good balance, and Pikmin uses a day and night timer. Now, in this one, you can go out in the night, but I don't recommend that because it's very creepy and the enemies are tough. But... it's a good game because you're focused, you have a mission, and you have a daytime timer, and it makes you take breaks. And I think that's very important with anxiety, is if you're having a panic attack, no matter what the situation is, and this is coming from someone who has talked to a doctor about this, take a break, breathe, do some exercises for at least 15 minutes, and then get back to it. And that is my advice for the mental health segment this week.
Nice.
Do you have anything to add to this?
No, I mean, I also had the start of a panic attack yesterday, and it was kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
The difference is this time I didn't pick up a video game. I started a new hobby, and it's a long story about how I got here, but I started lockpicking. The short version of the story is I got locked out of the house and then decided I never wanted to be locked out of a house again. Once I got back into the house, I ordered my own lockpick set, and it's actually it's the perfect fidgety hand toy. It's really hard to explain, but I'm a fidgety person, and so it really helps. I would lay in bed, I turned on I think 30 Rock, and then I tried picking some locks.
Hey, you'll save a lot of money from not having to break a window or call a locksmith.
That is true. I brought an example. Let's see if I can do this on screen.
This is the ASMR segment now.
Yeah, so I have my lock pick set here. Here we go. This is a master lock, which if you watch the lockpicking lawyer channel, you'll know these are the worst, and never to put them on anything that you own that you actually want to keep safe. I'm going to try to do this as much like lockpicking lawyer as I can. Have you watched that channel?
Nope.
You should. It's
actually, I may have, because I had to break into my tool shed this year, and I ended up just busting the lock off.
All right, so let me see if I can... Oh, that's the wrong wave rate.
We're going Skyrim style. Your lock picking's going to go up, man.
Yeah, let me see if I can use the wave rake here. Ready? All right, so locked master lock. Ready?
Man.
Ready? What?
Ooh.
Isn't that terrible and terrifying that you can just use a wave rake and bump unlock a, this says it's an 8 on the security scale. Apparently this is also one that you can just hit it really hard. You can whack the side of it with a rubber mallet and it'll open.
I've done that several times, actually. Yeah.
So, but I'm learning, and my fingers are sore from holding the picks.
Oh, I bet. That is cool. If you are a lock picker listening, please Let us know.
And join my new channel, Anxious Pickers. I actually just sounds like I pick my nose a lot when I'm nervous.
Don't steal that idea. No. Yeah. Well, let's jump into what we're currently playing this week. Josh,
Nice.
I see you got quite a few games on the notes here.
I do. Number 1, Timberborn, still. I love it. That is such... it is the perfect city builder game, as far as I can tell. It's not too chaotic. Some games are just too deep on like the tech levels, and it takes forever to unlock everything. This is the perfect amount of research, and the water sim is just super cool. And I'm participating in a thing where it's a create a map contest. So I've been playtesting one of the maps that I made for it, just to make sure everything's balanced. There's enough resources to play it on hard mode or normal mode or as both factions. And then we'll see if I win the contest.
Very cool.
Second game I've been playing, I found. It's a Steam game called Viewfinder.
It sounds very familiar.
As I'm talking about it, I'll show gameplay, but it's almost very Portal-like. Did you play Portal 1 and Portal 2?
I did.
Okay, good. It's very Portal puzzle-like. The quirk and the hook of the game is that you have photographs that you hold up, and as you hold these things in the environment and you click, the photograph becomes a 3D space. And it's honestly a programmatic marvel. I have no idea how they engineered this.
Yeah.
And then there's other things where you can take pictures using the viewfinder of whatever is in that picture. You can then place that 3D space somewhere else. But when you place a picture, it cuts through everything in that picture's path. It's really hard to explain. Yeah. But it is super cool.
That's right up your alley.
That one's been very relaxing for me. In fact, I'm looking up. I have it paused on my computer over there.
So are you playing it on Steam?
Yeah. I think it's PC only right now. Actually, I could see it being a little difficult to do on consoles.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot involved with it, but it sounds fun.
It's very cool. Very Portal-esque, but with some of that... there was a game where it was all about perspective. And this is very similar to that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
What you playing?
Well, Pikmin 4.
Nice.
And I am enjoying it. They changed the camera view a bit. You get to make your own little astronaut character. You have a dog now, which is really cool. It's a lot faster, fluid. It looks beautiful.
I'm telling you, right here toward the end of the Switch, we're starting to see some really good stuff.
Yeah, it looks really good. So, yeah, just a really fun game. Another interesting game I picked up that, for some reason, it really caught my eye, is the new Disney game, the Disney Illusion Island. It's a 2D platformer. It's kind of Metroidvania, but you don't fight enemies. You just like jump over them. It's very kid friendly.
Yeah.
It's Disney. But you do have some collectibles, and it plays kind of like Rayman Legends.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun, though. Anybody can just pick up a controller and hop on. And that and Pikmin have been kind of my cozy games.
Actually, with that, I'm going to jump back real quick. This is kind of news. But the new PS5 updates, they're releasing a new version. It has some audio things. It's got some accessibility things. But the coolest thing that they added is you can turn on what's called an assist controller. And it's basically an exact duplicate of the Player 1 controller. So even if it's a single-player game, if your kid or somebody who's a little bit more disabled needs help with a part, and they have a friend, you can use a second controller as what's called an assist controller.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, super cool concept. Especially if you've got two friends that want to do couch co-op on a single-player game, kind of like we've been doing with the Switch Online. But you can do it in person with two PS5 controllers.
That's cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
teaching kids how to play Last of Us, you know.
Watch out for that clicker, son.
Yeah.
Hit that man in the head with a brick.
Come on. Hit him like Daddy did. So I see you got some Mario Bros. 2.
Yeah, I've been playing that one with some kids. And then I've been on airplanes a lot lately, and I did a lot of solitaire. It's a video game.
It's a video game. It is. Yeah.
I added it on the list. It's casual, and my grandma plays it, but it's a video game.
Hey, it's a game. Yeah, that's all that matters. So I haven't ordered it yet, but I'm definitely going to order that Castlevania limited run.
Oh, are you?
Edition.
Nice.
That's so cool, man. They send it in like a giant Game Boy Advance box. It's really cool. But I've been playing so much of the Advance collection. Mm-hmm. It's just 3 really good Castlevania games, and I'm so excited about the new Netflix series. But yeah, I've been playing that, and then I forgot to add, I'm still doing Tears of the Kingdom. I finished the Gerudo area.
Ooh. So how'd you feel about being Indiana Link?
Loved all of it. Honestly, the Gerudo area is probably my favorite area.
That one's very cool. Dude,
and I got a lot of Ocarina of Time vibes, like the music and stuff, and just the character interactions.
The Gibdos are so creepy,
man.
Especially when you start getting the flying ones coming after you, and you realize that you can't kill them normally.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if that's a spoiler for somebody, but
like a part of the Flood in Halo or something. Like it was just a really fun area.
That section was dark enough that it reminded me a lot of the Adult Link era in Ocarina of Time.
Yes, that was actually like the shadow areas and stuff. Mm-hmm. That was what I thought of. And that was the most fun I've had in a Gerudo area since Ocarina of Time, honestly. Yeah. I liked it in Breath of the Wild, but this one I felt like the whole conquering the town, like the little
like saving the town
warrior segment kind of thing, and that reminded me a lot of Majora's Mask. Remember, in Majora's Mask, you have to save Romani Ranch.
Yeah. From the aliens. Yeah.
From the aliens.
What a weird segment in the game, by the way.
So fun.
But there were also just so many secrets in that area. There were tons of hidden ruins. I don't know if you found any of those yet, but there's a whole desert out there to explore. Yes. And it's not as empty as it looks.
It's really fun. I did pick up the strategy guide because 1, I'm a Zelda collector, but 2, everybody's beating it, but I'm savoring every moment with it because it's growing so much more on me. Like I already want to start a new file and I haven't even beat the game yet. But
it's worth it. Just play through it the one time, and then you can go back.
And then I'll go back. So that's what I've been playing this week.
Nice. I'm trying to think if I've got anything else. I don't think so. All I'll say is that Mario Brothers 2 is the weirdest Mario Brothers game of all time.
It is very weird. Oh, I did, real quick, I popped on the Game Boy Advance online and visited Metroid Fusion, which still holds up well, and Super Mario Advance. It's cool.
The first one?
Yeah. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So, played that, but yeah.
All right.
Well, Josh, take us away with our main topic.
Let's hop into Composer Comparison. It sounds like a game show. Or Christopher Walken. I'm not sure what that was. Let's jump into Composer Comparison.
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to listen to bits and pieces of shop themes across gaming. And we're going to talk about a little bit about the composer, maybe some fun facts, the year the game came out. And we're just going to kind of see, how different composers handled this. Should be cool. So the first song we're going to listen to is the shop theme from Ocarina of Time. The composer on Ocarina of Time was Koji Kondo. And fun fact, Koji Kondo was hired by Nintendo in 1984, becoming the first person hired by Nintendo to specialize in video game music. Mm-hmm. This dude has been there for a long time.
He's done pretty much, for those of you that don't know, almost every a majority of Nintendo soundtracks. I mean, Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time. Phenomenal composer. So
He's like the John Williams of Nintendo.
he is. So pay him your respects. I'm just kidding.
All right, so let's check out the shop theme. I'm trying to figure out what this is inspired by. It kind of sounds like something you'd hear in New Orleans. New Orleans.
Yeah.
It kind of has like a polka vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how Koji Kondo came up with this.
It's very Mario.
You think so?
And I think the reason why he did it like this is because the Kokiri are like childish and funny, and it's quirky. So I think it fits really well.
But isn't this the same shop music they use in every shop in the game? Even the Bazaar?
I think no, the Bazaar's different.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. That's the.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think
it's always a little bit more upbeat than I guess I would expect it to be.
Yeah, it's very carnival-esque, you know. But yeah, it's a. I mean, anytime I hear that, I'm just transported back to my childhood. Obviously,
Right.
I think it does fit Zelda though very well because, I mean, Ocarina of Time is a more serious Zelda game, but Zelda,
it's got some goofy music.
It has goofy music and goofy characters, but that's what makes Zelda unique. It's a fantasy game that can be real sad but happy and quirky. I mean, like Beedle, for example.
Yeah.
Or Wind Waker. Remember when you learn... it's one of the songs to change day and night, and the guy's like dancing, and he's like, "Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah." So
that's actually a very good example because I have that one next.
Sweet.
So this one is from Wind Waker. It's the Beedle shop music. This one is also Koji Kondo. However, this was later on in obviously Nintendo's history. This was 2002. And so he had 3 other composers with him on Wind Waker. Hajime Wakai, Toru Minagishi, and Kenta Nagata. And so this was actually pretty interesting. So Hajime Wakai actually was one of the composers for Star Fox.
Oh, okay.
His first composition was in Star Fox 64.
Star Fox 64 soundtrack, I still play that on YouTube. I actually have a cover of it on my game album because that music hits. It's good stuff.
Yeah. And then Toru Minagishi works mainly on Zelda games, mainly Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, it seems. And then finally, Nagata joined Nintendo in 1996 and mostly works on Mario Kart, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, let's check out the Beatles shop theme. So this actually is very similar to me to the Ocarina of Time shop music, just a lot more toned down.
It's the same key. That's why.
And it's also the marimbas. For some reason, kind of gives me that same Kokiri vibe, I guess.
It does, and it fits Wind Waker well because it's kind of reggae. It's like that ocean water sound instrument and stuff.
Yeah.
So this part is from the same.
That is the shop theme.
Yep, that is the shop theme.
That would make sense why it seems so similar. It's literally the same song in a different style.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Nice.
Very cool discoveries.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good to know. Next up, we're going to switch over to a different series here, and we are going to check out the Pokemon Pokecenter theme.
Yes.
So this was Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow.
Sweet.
And those came out in 1996. The composer was Junichi Masuda. And fun fact, in 2022, just last year, Masuda was appointed to be Chief Creative Fellow at the Pokemon Company. So this dude is still there and has worked his way up to the top.
Nice. Have you heard the Pokecenter from Pokemon Diamond and Shining Pearl, like the remakes?
I think while researching for this episode, I came across the Scarlet version. I know that Toby Fox had a hand in some of it.
Yes, yeah. No, the Pokemon Diamond, man, it bops. It sounds great.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll check that out. We'll check out the original, and then we'll
Okay.
check out the remaster here in a second.
I love this theme. I should cover this one next.
You should.
It'd be pretty on the classical guitar.
So, this one and I'm going to go ahead and cut it there. This one in Lavender Town, when I think of, I guess, that 8 or 16-bit music, this is what I think of. I guess this would technically be 16-bit music, huh? Was the Game Boy 16-bit?
I think it was 8-bit because remember Donkey Kong Country was on Game Boy as well, and they took a 16-bit and brought it down to 8.
That's right. Okay.
Game Boy Advance went to 16 though, I think.
That's right. You're right. Yeah. So because they had the 4 tracks on the 8-bit, and it's just incredible how much they got out of 4 tracks.
I think out of all of, well, I mean, it's partially Nintendo because Game Freak is their own company, but out of all of Nintendo's franchises, the Pokemon music just flows so well. Like any shop you go to, any like boss or gym or whatever, like I don't know, Pokemon music just is like perfect in my opinion. I love it all. It's good stuff.
Yeah, let's check out the which Pokemon did you say it was?
Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. It's like the remake or whatever. The Pokecenter, and dude, this thing sounds straight up like from the 90s. Like if you were to turn on whatever radio station, it just bops, man.
Nice.
You're gonna like this one. Good
okay.
stuff.
This is very crisp.
It's like Stevie Wonder.
It's
man.
a lot bouncier. Yeah.
It's like a little bit progressive there. It's very, honestly, it sounds like PlayStation 1 era JRPG style. Yeah, those drums hit, man.
Nice. That's funny. I can't believe I haven't heard that version.
And I love too that they have a lot of like bells and stuff in the background because it's like Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. So it sounds like
sounds like gems.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the next song I'm going to jump to is the original Final Fantasy shop music. And this is Nobuo Uematsu, who basically, well, fun fact here is he was the only composer for Final Fantasy up until Final Fantasy X. So from 1986 until 2001, he composed all of the music for Final Fantasy and probably some other games.
Now,
and then they finally added on a couple more composers.
So with this song, and I made a really good point in the notes about how a lot of Final Fantasy's shop music is like tied to the town music that you're going to. Is this the town music as well?
It is not. So
okay.
During my research, Final Fantasy 1, as far as I can tell, was the only one to specifically have shop music.
Okay.
And then same thing for Final Fantasy Tactics. There was a shop music.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about Tactics. That's a good game.
Yes.
I need to bring that one
So
back.
let's check this out. This one's funny to me. It sounds like a church hymn.
Well, so Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, very church hymn in it, and a lot of those games had like classical compositions, you know?
Yeah. It's very Baroque.
Yeah. And even the new Dragon Quest has a lot of classical composition in it. So That's what I love about old Final Fantasy and the Dragon Quest games. They're really fun to play on guitar, fingerstyle or whatever. So that would be a good one to cover too. Because it sounds very similar to the cover I just did, the music box from Majora's Mask.
Clearly time for the shop music album.
The shop music. Yes. Gonna make that happen.
So next up, I've got... so this one's actually... This is from... Oh, here we go. This is the original U.S. version of Animal Crossing. There was an Animal Crossing 64. The original in Japan, it came out on the 64. Updated a little, came to the U.S. market in 2001 for the GameCube. But this is the Animal Crossing Nook's Cranny music.
Sweet.
And this is composed by Kazumi Totaka, which KK Slider is based on inside of Animal Crossing.
Cool.
Yeah. So let's check out this. I've always thought this one was so weird, but I just remember hearing this music daily playing Animal Crossing.
I mean, in general, Animal
hoping
Crossing,
for the right piece of furniture.
Yeah, Animal Crossing is just a weird game in general. It's so fun and comforting, but very...
I would say
Sorry.
This is probably the most unique track out of all the ones we're hearing.
But this is the cool thing about Nintendo in general, because I mean Final Fantasy 1 was NES, so like Final Fantasy 1 sounded like a Mario game to me.
Okay.
And then this fits like Wind Waker or like a weird segment in Zelda. It all just ties together, you know?
Well, this was the year before Wind Waker.
Yeah. So
they both worked at Nintendo. They didn't work on the same games, but I could definitely see there being some overlap.
Yeah.
And then to go from there to the next one, this is not technically a game, but the Wii Shop theme that we all know and love is the same composer, Kazumi Totaka. And then to make things even more weird, the guy who composed for Animal Crossing and then also did the Wii Shop music is also the voice of Yoshi. So that's a fun fact. I love all the remixes of this song.
So, funny story, the Wii was my first online experience with the game system. Isn't that crazy?
I'm trying to think if it was mine. I think I had the dial-up modem for the GameCube. Or the DSL modem for the GameCube, and I played Phantasy Star Online.
Yeah.
I think. I can't tell if that's a fever dream or if I actually did that.
So I didn't.
But I think the Wii was my first consistently online gaming experience.
Yeah, it was my first time buying something from a shop, and this just brings back memories of asking my dad, "Hey, can I borrow your debit card to buy some points?" Because you had to buy points. You couldn't just, have money.
Or you had to get eShop gift cards. I just remember sitting there because the internet was so slow, and there was this animation of Mario
hitting the blocks,
punching the blocks. And I would sit there and watch it for 30 to 45 minutes, if not longer, to download an NES game.
So the Wii was my first experience playing NES and Super Nintendo games. I never had those consoles. And when I got a Wii, I discovered those games. And then that was the story about discovering the Super Nintendo with my aunt. She was like, "Oh, I have one you can borrow." And so the Wii got me into to respect older Nintendo games.
So can you hear any similarities between the Wii Shop music and Animal Crossing? Or does he have good enough range that because you listen to like John Williams and you can generally tell that it's John Williams, whether that's Harry Potter, Star Wars, Indiana Jones. He kind of has a mark. Those two felt very different to me, though.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Animal Crossing one was quirky, for Animal Crossing. This sounds professional. It sounds like elevator shopping music, but it's...
Muzak?
Yeah, Muzak. But it's very Nintendo still. Like, you wouldn't hear this on a PlayStation store or an Xbox store. This is not some. So it's. I think that's why it's so popular and so unique. Is it's like, yeah, it's its own thing, and it's very. It fits so well with what the Wii was, and
yeah, nice.
I wish Nintendo.
Yeah, it
would
really
bring
is
back.
like that one and the Me Channel music are really. I mean, just very defining moments in music history for Nintendo. Which is funny because I couldn't tell you. I mean, I can tell you startup sounds and things like that, but there's a lot of aspects of consoles that I just couldn't tell you. Okay, so for the last one, we look like a couple of Nintendo fanboys because those were pretty much all, except for Square Enix and the Pokemon Company.
I'm a
but the
Nintendo
last one
fanboy. I'm not afraid to admit it.
That's true. That's true. Well, so during my research for this episode, Nintendo is one of the only companies that consistently has shop theme music.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Switch doesn't have it. I wish they'd bring it back. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So the final one I have is Dark Cloud 2. I don't remember. Did you say you've played this one?
I played Dark Cloud 1.
Okay. Yeah, this one honestly feels a little bit Nintendo-esque to me. But the whole game was very much about inventing. And, I forgot to mention the... so this was composed by Tomohiro Nishiura. And he also composed for Professor Layton in Rogue Galaxy.
Oh, nice.
And then oversaw the implementation of Dragon Quest VIII's music.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, I could definitely hear from this going to Dragon Quest VIII. Definitely a similarity there.
Yeah.
I'm a big Dragon Quest fan.
Nice. Yeah, so this Dark Cloud 2 had a huge emphasis on inventing and building and constructing. And so you can kind of hear that's a
building song, kind of.
Yeah, it kind of has I guess like an inventive vibe to it.
Yeah.
And like a construction vibe a little bit.
Yeah, no, I can definitely hear that.
Yeah, but I've always been a big fan of the soundtrack from Dark Cloud 1 and 2.
I want you to look up one,
Okay.
Mega Man Legends 2 Shop Theme. So, and I can't believe I didn't add this. So in Mega Man Legends 2, when you start the game, your ship catches on fire because Data, the little monkey robot guy, was trying to cook a pizza. But you land in a town called Yosyonke Town or something, and it's covered in ice. It's like a snow area. But this is, out of all the games we probably talked about tonight, I think this is the most fitting for this. You walk into a junk shop, which is their shops, and it's like an icy town. Play it real quick. So Christmas, right?
It is. Okay, so it's not going to be shop music, but this leads me to something. When did this come out?
2000 something, maybe? Let me look it up.
Yeah, look up Mega Man Legends 2, see what the date is, and who the composer is so we can say that.
Makoto Tomizawa. Mega Man Legends 2, he was the composer. And it released on April 20th of 2000.
Nice. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm going to do this on stream. I'm really tired of leaning forward, and I'm using this brand new keyboard box as a mouse pad. So I'm about to just hook up this keyboard.
Sweet. But yeah, that game, the environments, I actually have the vinyl, because every Christmas I kick this album on, because get this, when I played this game for the first time, it was 20 degrees outside, it was starting to snow, and my dad got me this game, and I remember that was like the first area, and it was so fitting and I was out on Christmas break from school, so it was like a dream come true. So to me, it's kind of a Christmassy song. You know what? I should have we could go on and on about this. We'll end the episode soon. But I think one of my favorite the Mega Man Legends 2 hits home. The merchant from Resident Evil 4, Serenity.
So I actually had that. I had that on the original list.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Merchant music. All right, let's check this out.
Oh, it's
so
so
good.
good.
Let's add it back in. You can see that I played it there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's add it back in.
Now, did you know this is an actual song?
I did not.
Mm-hmm.
What song is it?
Type in Serenity just in the search bar.
Oh, it says it here.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Serenity.
Resident Evil 4 original or something. Let's see if it'll pop up. Yeah, right there, the third video. Pandora's Toolbox.
Really? David Tom?
Mm-hmm.
Dark ambient soundscapes.
So they took it and they pitch shifted it. That's the original.
Interesting. I had no idea that was
And
it wasn't made for Resident Evil 4.
If I'm not mistaken, it's actually in the background of Monster Hunter 2 on the PS2. Yeah.
David Tom, Pandora's Toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
But that is... So, funny story, which they redid the theme in the Resident Evil 4 remake, which it's good, but I prefer the original Serenity because there's just something about it. It actually makes you feel like a...
Yeah,
I'm
it
safe.
was relaxing. It still was also just a little unsettling, too, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that would be probably my second favorite one.
Nice.
Tonight.
So, and then Mega Man Legends is your top favorite?
Probably, because I think that is just so spot on, Yeah. It's perfect.
If I were to pick an absolute favorite, purely for the nostalgia factor, it has to be Ocarina of Time shop music.
Mm-hmm.
Beedle is an alternate for first place. Because that one's also, I mean, it was just a few years later. Which, can we talk about that, how hard it is to believe that Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker were just a few years apart?
Yeah, and then,
And just how huge of a jump in gameplay and graphical fidelity, music, everything that was.
So, do you remember how pissed people were about Wind Waker?
Oh, yeah. About, this is cartoony, this is for
I still
children.
have people that are mad about that I know, that are older than me, but then they play Breath of the Wild, and I'm like, dude, it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It was the character models with the tiny little legs.
And look at how many games. I mean, Fortnite, for God's sake. Everybody does cell shading now, so yeah.
It's a shame they're missing out.
They are. Well, I think that wraps up our episode this week. We will continue to do these segments, and there are so many other shop themes. Maybe we'll hit some more of those later on in the future. But without further ado, check us out every Thursday on YouTube at Anxious Gamers.
And remember, it's dangerous to go alone.
See ya.